Hi everyone, welcome back to Earl Grey Books. I'm Ellie and I'm here today to do my February haul revisit. So this is a few days earlier than what I would usually be posting these. Kind of the idea is to post them in the first few days of that particular month. But this time around, well, I'm going to explain what happened in January. So I did manage to make my way through most of the books from January's haul revisit. I'll link that below if you haven't seen it. But I do have these 3 left and I have absolutely no desire to read them. So I do have a rule that if I read 50 pages of a book, it counts as started, and thus if I start all of them, I don't have to go on a book buying ban. So I did read the first 50 pages of these, if not more, but I didn't of History of Mischief. But I've still got a few days in the month and I just don't foresee myself reading any of these. So I'm gonna call it and just say that I'm going on a book buying ban in Feb. I already need to. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with the books that I do have, so I'm gonna go on a book buying ban anyway, so I might as well make this video now, and then, you know, it makes it easier. Another rule I have is that I give myself until, I give myself 2 months to read the books. So in terms of, even if I don't finish books from January, I have until the end of February to decide whether I'm going to keep them or not. Whether that be I read them and I finish them and I love them and I keep them, or I decide to unhaul, DNF, etc. So I have a feeling I might end up unhauling these because we're gonna see. But I will try and remember to update you all on these 3 at the start of my March haul revisit. I'm surrounded by books, and as well as what I'm going to read from Feb. So we're going to jump into what I have here. We have a few caveats this month, but we're going to start with the things that I'm just going to read. So first up, I have some little historical romances here. So I have The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare, which, as you can see, I have a bookmark in. I read book 2 in January and I started this one, but I just don't think I'm going to have the time to finish it. And yeah, very excited. And then I have The Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie by Jennifer Ashley. Sorry, that one's a little bit glary. This is the first book in a series. And I also have The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne, which is also the first book in a series. I've never read anything by either of these authors before, so I am excited to give them a shot. So I have those. I have one non-fiction this month, which is Staring How We Look by Rosemary Garland Thompson. Rosemary Garland Thompson wrote this incredible book called Extraordinary Bodies, which was kind of the catalyst for me sort of accepting myself as being disabled, having a disability, and also kind of having a bit of pride in that. I was born disabled. My condition is going to be lifelong. I'm always going to be, I've had a multitude of other things happen. Anyway, that book changed my life. And then I read one of her, a book that she edited, which is called Freakery. I'd forgotten the title. That was about circuses and like freak shows and things, and it was kind of supposed to be about the disabled body's place in all of that. And it was honestly the most ablest piece of shit I have ever read. Which is weird because she is a disabled scholar. She was just the editor. I don't think any of the contributors were disabled because some of the shit they said. Anyway. So I'm nervous kind of about this one. I don't know how much of a disability focus this one has. So I'm both excited because I loved that first book, but also nervous because of that second one. So we'll see. And then I've got some YA contemporary here. I have Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant and When You Look Like Us by Pamela N. Harris. Very excited for both of these. This one I think is quite cute and probably a good book for February. You know, all those romantic feels going on. This one I think is going to break my heart. So this is about a young teenager whose sister has gone missing, and because I'm not sure where it's set, Newport, don't really know where that is, but basically the cops won't do anything because she's a young black girl and they think she's gotten into some sort of trouble with a boyfriend, and anyway, her younger brother is determined to find her and find out what happened to her. So I think this is going to be quite heartbreaking, but I'm very excited. Yeah. And this one is just, I might read this one first and then this one. Like, I can cry and then I can make myself a little bit happier with some, like, cute stuff. The last one before the, like, caveats is The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon, which I still haven't read. I reread the series and the third book for the first time in preparation for this, and then I didn't read this. So, gonna do that this month. I am very excited for it. I'm nervous as hell, but I'm also excited. So, and then caveats. So, I did talk about in my original video in which I shared my plans for my haul revisits this year, that when it came to series, if I bought multiple books in that series, in that month, I just had to read the next book. So say I'd already read book 1 and 2 at some point, but I'd bought books 3, 4, and 5, I just had to read book 3. In saying that, I have decided to not do that this month. So, here's what happened. In Feb, I bought myself a copy of A Dance with Fate by Juliette Marillier, which is book 2 in the Warrior Bard series. And then I also bought myself Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier, which is book 1 in, I think it's called the Seven Waters series. And yes, so I had that. And then later in the year, when it was released, I bought the third book in the Warrior Bard series, A Song of Flight. So rather than continuing a series and starting a new one, I'm just going to go with finishing a series. I believe this is only a trilogy. I think it's finished now. So yeah, I would read book 2 and 3 rather than reading book 2 and starting another series of hers when I have the final book in that series. So I'm going to do those instead, and then I will add this one on to the month that I bought Song of Flight in, and I will basically just switching them. I think it makes more sense. So that's what we're going to do for those. And then in Feb and March, in Feb, I ordered a whole bunch of J.D. Robb books from the In Death series, and they arrived over February and March. So in Feb, I had Glory in Death and Conspiracy in Death arrive. this is book 2. All good. I've already read book 1, ready for this one to go. This is a later book in the series, but was the only other one that technically arrived in Feb. So again, I'm switching that out for book 3, which is Holiday in Death. So I think I bought the first 8 in this series. So in Feb, I want to try and get through at least these 2. When it comes to doing my March haul revisit, I will see, I have a bit of a plan with these. I'll see how many of these I have read. So if I've read these 2, and if I do manage to read any more, I will then decide how I'm going to go about the rest of the series, if I'm going to read more of them in March, or whether I'm going to just sprinkle them throughout the year, basically. So we'll see. But that is it for today's haul revisit. I'm really excited about most of these books. The only one I'm not really 100% sure about is the non-fiction one, but the rest I'm super excited for. Some of them I have been kind of holding off on reading this month that I was kind of tempted, but I was like, no, I need to read other things first. So that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.